You know, Tom, I gotta say,
Yes.
I feel now that that we have truly made it on the internet, on YouTube, and with the blog, because now we've got our own haters.
Yes, we do.
Tell us a little bit about that, man.
Okay, this is kind of a public service announcement here. Now, not everyone is going to like our videos. We acknowledge that, but it's come to our attention, and we're kind of concerned about this, that some people are apparently being forced to watch our videos against their will.
No freaking way.
No, it's very, very worrisome for us because we, of course, don't want that. We got some feedback for our last video expressing displeasure with the quality of it. And I mean, our videos, like everything on YouTube, is free. Now,
yeah. I think the word suck was used in there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe he was trying to do a Google search to find another type of website entirely, but
somehow stumbled upon ours.
Yeah, but I'll be honest. Upon reading the comment, I initially pictured somebody sitting around his mom's basement, pausing in his customary surfing of weird porn sites, and taking 10 minutes out of his life to watch a video that he doesn't like, just because somewhere in the recesses of his misshapen little skull, posting nasty comments online gives him an endorphin rush. But then Ted and I discussed it, and we said, come on, man, nobody's that pathetic. So we can only assume then that this person's being forced at gunpoint to watch our videos, and the attendant nervousness of having somebody hold a gun on him might account for the spelling and grammatical errors that a less charitable individual than myself might ascribe to stupidity. So we've established a helpline for people who find themselves in this situation. If you're being held at gunpoint and forced to watch one of our videos against your will, call this number, 1-800-I'm-a-Tool.
I'll get you the help you need.
Yes, dispatchers are on duty 24 hours a day, and they will send out a team of crack snipers to deal with your problem. Oh, and speaking of crack, you might want to tell your mom to lay off the pipe during her next pregnancy.
Oh!
All righty.
Let's move right along here. Two more serious and entertaining subjects.
Okay.
On Monday,
yes,
as well as I know, as you know, and as a lot of people in this state know, MMA was approved. It's now legal. Now legal in the state.
I'd like to say for the record, this guy here, Ted Czech, broke that news. His blog was, as far as I know, the first news outlet in Pennsylvania to report that news.
Yeah, but Tom, that's due to you, man.
Well,
we're a team.
Yes, we're a team. I mean, I did forward him the press release from the Department of State, but
we got it out there. Yeah,
MMA Explosion got the news out there.
Yeah, we got some recognition from some of the other sites, saying that we broke it. So that's good. That's a little feather in the cap for York Blog or MMA Explosion or whatever we want to call ourselves. I mean, just kind of my thoughts quickly, Tom, on this. We're going to see, and these are kind of no-brainers, but we're going to see MMA organizations popping up everywhere, in all the major cities. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, down here, and all points in between.
Yeah.
We're gonna see some organizations popping up, which is great. We're going to see more schools popping up. I mean, we've already got a few, and last week we talked about one that's going to set up in York City. We're going to see more fighters.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great because as somebody said to me, I think it was George McGinnis was saying that more people from this area and from the state are going to be attracted to the sport because they don't have to travel over state lines, to fight.
Absolutely.
You just do it right here in your own backyard, and that's, I think, it just makes it more attractive to people. Another thing on that note, Greg Sirk did tell me that a big show should be in the works or should happen by the end of the year. Now, I don't know what he meant by that. I mean, he wouldn't tell me which organization, but I was kind of thinking about it, and the UFC. I mean, that's the huge one out there. That's the major leagues. But I mean, they seem to be concentrating a lot on England. And somewhat on Canada. They've had regular shows there. And if they don't do those things, or they seem to be concentrating in Los Angeles in their own not Los Angeles, Las Vegas, in their own backyard. So it might be a while before we see them over here. I can't even tell you the last time that they had a show like, say, in Atlantic City. So that being said, I mean, that would leave other organizations out there. I mean, Strike Force could be a possibility because they bought Elite XC, and Elite XC had a strong East Coast presence. So could be them. Who knows? But he said he got calls from everybody. I mean, I'm sure he fielded phone calls from the UFC, inquiries, wondering about if it was legal or not, So.
Oh, yeah. Although, one thing I would like to say, and I mean, this is great news, and, I'm sure just about everybody out there is happy to hear it, all the MMA fans. But one thing I would be cautious about is a couple years ago, this gym that I was training with, there's a guy there, really wanted to get into the mixed martial arts. He signed up for a fight down in Virginia. And it was a fairly sizable event. I mean, like they had this, ballroom in a hotel set, rented out. They had a ring set up in the middle of it.
Sure.
And it was the most obviously fixed thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was pathetic.
Now, fixed not in the sense of that somebody would throw a fight.
Oh, no. Well, see, here's the deal, okay? It was apparently sponsored by, like, this consortium of local martial arts schools.
Okay.
And right on the program, like, they listed, like, one of the guys who owned one of the martial arts schools was the ref. Okay?
All right, so you knew the fix was in, yeah.
And the thing is, every single fighter that won was from one of these guys' martial arts schools. And you know what? I'd give it to them if I said that they were the superior fighters. I'd say, hey, they got some, these guys apparently have some good trainers down here. But I mean, it was so obvious that like these hundreds of people in the auditorium were booing. You know what I mean?
Is that right?
The
crowd knew what was going on.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like you'd have some fighter go up there and just beat the hell out of one of their guys. And I mean, like the one fighter would be standing there barely having broken a sweat.
Yeah.
The guy from Virginia would be standing there like literally. There was one fight where the guy was literally covered with blood and like semi-conscious. And they called it for the guy covered in blood.
So the thing is, if you let it go to the judges, that can happen.
Exactly.
The idea is to finish the fight.
Well, that's
if
it.
You can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and the thing is, whenever a guy who wasn't from Virginia, like they would find excuses to call the fight. Like for example, the guy from my gym who went down there, like the fight went to the ground. It was a boxing ring. I couldn't see what happened on the ground.
Right.
But like they went down to the ground. The ref all of a sudden, like, he stops the fight. This was one of the first ones. This was before it was obvious what was going on.
Right.
And he said, "Oh, he briefly lost consciousness." I saw this guy back, like after the fight in the locker room. I was like, "Hey, you okay, man?" He's like, "I didn't lose consciousness."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "The fight went to the ground." He says, "I was going for a move. All of a sudden, he stops the fight. Next thing I know, he's raising the other guy's hand. So, I mean, the thing is, boxing is notorious for that kind of thing, and MMA, because it's so new, is necessarily going to be less regulated than boxing, at least from the outset. So, I really hope that the fighters out there will be wary of these kind of, fly-by-night type of organizations and protect themselves and,
Yeah, I think Greg Serb is, as the executive director of State Athletic Commission, I think he's a very savvy individual, and he was telling me either he or one of his representatives will have to be or will be at every single MMA event, making sure that everything is going according to plan.
Yeah.
According to the policies of the state. Because they regulate pro wrestling, they regulate boxing, kickboxing, and now MMA. So somebody, if it's not Greg, it's going to be one of his people. Now, I just want to say briefly, Tom, there is we can't say too much about this, but there is movement afoot here in York for an event.
Yes.
For an event in York, actually very close to here. I can't say exactly where, an undisclosed location at this point, very CIA hush-hush, top secret. But we'll probably be able to give details next week here or on the blog or both. But I'm very excited about that. It should feature a lot of local fighters, probably one side of the card, local guys, other side from elsewhere.
Yeah, and you can bet that if that happens, we'll be there, and so will the camcorder.
Got it. So. That's right. Yeah. So, we good, man?
Oh yeah,
I think
I
we
guess
hit
so.
the time. All right. So Ted Check,
Tom Joyce.
Tom Joyce saying, "Take care, fight fans. We'll see you next time."
Take it easy.